every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
His big kill on the black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking black jobs now.
Black job? Is this a black job?
The moderators are two of the best in the business. They both are friends of mine. But how was the first question not who won the 2020 election?
How? I need to know how. If that's not the first question, what are we even doing? Welcome to Street Politics. My name is Reese Waters. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the page. All right, Joe Biden, you had 3 jobs. 3 jobs, just 3 things that you needed to do. You needed to press Donald Trump on January 6th. You needed to point out that all his homies, his whole crew is either in jail or wearing ankle monitors. His VP is not even endorsing him. And oh yeah, he's a convicted felon as well. That hasn't really moved the needle, but the fact that everybody around him is convicted felons, that might. And last but not least, Project 2025. You can't say it enough. If that's how you start every answer, you will do fantastic.
Making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death.
That was 10 minutes in. That was 10 minutes in. 10 minutes in. And we are already finished. By the way, that was a good ad lib by Trump. I started out doing stand-up. I got to give credit where credit is due. Now, Joe Biden was apparently sick, which accounted for his voice, but that didn't account for everything.
And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
I don't know what he said either, but I know what he didn't say was check Trump for tanking the border bill. How you let him talk freely about the border when he tanked the border bill? Come on.
President Trump, President Biden, you have said, quote, Donald Trump and his MAGA Republicans are determined to destroy American democracy. Do you believe that the tens of millions of Americans who are likely to vote for President Trump will be voting against American democracy?
Oh, here's a perfect entry for Project 2025.
The more they know about what he's done, yes, the more they know about what he's done. And there's a lot more coming. He's got a lot of cases down the road coming around. He's got a whole range of issues he has to face. I don't know what the juries will do, but I do know he has a real problem.
Nope, that wasn't it. That wasn't it.
Former President Trump, I want to ask you about January 6, 2021.
Okay, here we go.
After you rallied your supporters that day, some of them stormed the Capitol to stop the constitutionally mandated counting of electoral votes. As president, you swore an oath to, quote, preserve, protect, and defend, unquote, the Constitution. What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few. On January 6th, we were energy independent. On January 6th, we had the lowest taxes ever. We had the lowest regulations ever. On January 6th, we were respected all over the world.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
And Nancy Pelosi, if you just watched the news from 2 days ago, on tape to her daughter, who's a documentary filmmaker, they say, but she's saying, oh, no, it's my responsibility. I was responsible for this. Because I offered her 10,000 soldiers or National Guard, and she turned them down. And the mayor in writing, by the way, the mayor, in writing, turned it down, the mayor of D.C. They turned it down. I offered 10,000 because I could see, I had virtually nothing to do. They asked me to go make a speech. I could see what was happening. Everybody was saying they're going to be there on January 6th. They're going to be there. And I said, you know what? There's a lot of people coming. You could feel it. You could feel it too, and you could feel it.
You let him keep talking, he gonna blame the Black Panthers. CNN, what y'all doing? Huh? You hosting a whole debate with no fact checking whatsoever? Then what purpose are y'all serving? I have no idea what your use is. Clearly, Trump and all of his sycophants talking about Jake Tapper and Dana Bash and what they tweeted and this, that, and the other thing, they worked the refs successfully. I know how that works. I watched Phil Jackson. They have worked the refs, and now they got y'all completely sitting there idly by while he lies massively out of his mouth. What is this, a Trump rally?
Remember, more people died under his administration, even though we had largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than our administration, and we were right in the middle of it.
Hey, Jake Tapper. Yeah, they accidentally cut your mic off. Yeah, Trump out here lying and y'all not saying nothing. So I think the mic cut off. Also, he just claimed they had COVID settled. I think he might be sick.
The problem they have is they're radical because they will take the life of a child in the 8th month, the 9th month, and even after birth. After birth, if you look at the former governor of Virginia, he was willing to do this. He said, we'll put the baby aside and we'll determine what we do with the baby, meaning we'll kill the baby. What happened is we brought it back to the states, and the country is now coming together on this issue. It's been a great thing.
Okay, so we out here trying to fight a cold, old age, stuttering, lying with no refs whatsoever. We just making our own calls. No wonder I spent the whole night out here looking like Apollo's trainer. Now keep in mind, it's not like Trump was good. He was just the least bad, like Vienna sausages. And if you don't believe me, look what he had to say about black people.
As sure as you're sitting there, the fact is that his big kill on the black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking black jobs now, and it could be 18, it could be 19, and even 20 million people. They're taking black jobs, and they're taking Hispanic jobs.
Now, what the hell is a black job? Man, I can't wait to see Tim Scott answer for this.
The president used a phrase I hadn't heard before. Maybe he's used it. Maybe you've heard this. But he used a phrase saying that immigrants are coming into this country, undocumented immigrants, and they're taking black jobs and Hispanic jobs. What did he mean by that phrase, black jobs and Hispanic? What exactly does he mean? And does he mean low-wage jobs? And why not just say low-wage jobs? Why does he have to insert race and or ethnicity into it?
I got to tell you, the thing I thought was incredibly powerful on the issue of immigration was when President Trump said that we see our veterans homeless on the streets.
Nah, he gotta go. He gotta go. He can't come out in public no more. Nah, he can't come. No, because he been on a trading block for way too long by the black delegation. If he not gonna get moved, he just gotta get waived. Nah, yeah, he gotta get waived. Just go ahead and go home. Now we will pay you to stay home. Just you need to get out of the public eye. Now, meanwhile, now I understand what Joe Biden is after, because instead of directly confronting Trump, he's off in the weeds somewhere. He imitating Tim Scott. Joe, I just need you to hit them 3 moves. January 6th, jail, in 2026. That's all you need to know. Like playing Mortal Kombat. All you need is the leg sweep and the uppercut. All this other nonsense is just wasted energy.
My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
All right, fight back, Joe.
The crimes that you are still charged with. And think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant? I mean, what are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
Fight back, Joe.
Give you a minute, sir.
I didn't have sex with a porn star, number one.
I don't know what part Trump is objecting to. He must be objecting to the star part of that. Maybe a co-star, a supporting actress.
What we're doing for other countries, and they do nothing for us. What this man has done is absolutely criminal.
I'm sorry. Did somebody just say criminal? That was your line, Joe.
They destroyed and deleted all of the information they found because they found out we were right. We were right. And they deleted and destroyed all of the information. They should go to jail for that. If a Republican did that, they'd go to jail.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, I want to give you a minute.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at right now.
Okay.
Country to either be destroyed or he wants to pick up those people as voters. And I don't think we just can't let it happen. If he wins this election, our country doesn't have a chance, not even a chance, of coming out of this rut. We probably won't have a country left anymore. That's how bad it is. He is the worst in history by far.
That was his response to a question about child care. Yes, child care. Trump was Trump. He wasn't focused. He was easily triggered. Everything you want in a trash debate performance. But Joe Biden could not capitalize. You didn't even call him out on black jobs. You had a whole conversation on black families with somebody who was just revealed to have dropped an N when a black man won his business competition because he didn't think America was ready to accept that. You just had a whole conversation about black families with a man who once was sued for racial discrimination, and you didn't mention none of it? The man has embraced attacking every black person who has a black job as a DEI hire. Fox News and Jesse Waters just said that about Kamala Harris.
They have opened the borders. They've changed the entire culture of this country. If you look at the cities, it's almost over. If they can drag him across the finish line and install Kamala, we have a DEI presidency that they can celebrate.
And you're not going to bring up none of it? What are we even doing? How do you talk to this man for an hour plus and you don't even bring up 2025? If that's all you had to say was Project 2025, you would have gone home with the win.
He was a very different person on the stage 4 years ago when you debated him. You must, I mean, that's certainly true, is it not?
Anderson, the point has to be performance in terms of what a president does. A president who incites an insurrection against the Capitol. No, but I got the point that you're making about a 1.5 hour debate tonight. I'm talking about 3.5 years of performance in work that has been historic.
So in other words, he lost. He's not going to like that.
These guys are nothing but lying, dog-faced pony soldiers. Except he's just a liar. Look, folks, what's going to happen over the next couple of days is they're going to be out there fact-checking all the things he said. I can't think of one thing he said that was true. No, I'm not being facetious. But look, we're going to beat this guy. We need to beat this guy. And I need you in order to beat him. You're the people I'm running for. You are the reason why America's as good as we are. We're the finest nation in the whole damn world. And no one's close. Nobody's close. But let's keep going. See you at the next one.
Where was all this energy and vigor during the debate? You saving up for the after party like J.R. Smith? And by the way, for those of you who don't know J.R. Smith, just think Michael Irvin. As for you, CNN, if you're just going to sit there and let Trump lie for 2 hours, why even have moderators? What was the point? What was the point of y'all even being there? Somebody need to take Jake Tapper and Dana Bash game checks. Yeah, somebody need to take their game checks because clearly somebody clocked them in and they did not show up to work. And to make matters worse for you, CNN, why did I see this well after the fact?
The Trump list, it is way, way longer. So deep breath. He said some Democratic states allow people to execute babies after birth, an egregious lie that is illegal in every state. He said everybody, even Democrats, wanted Roe v. Wade overturned. Roe was supported by 2/3 of Americans, even more Democrats. He said every legal scholar wanted Roe overturned, abortion returned to the states. Legal scholars have told me directly this is not true. He said the U.S. currently has the biggest budget deficit ever. No, that happened under Trump in 2020. He said the U.S. currently has a record trade deficit with China. That also happened under Trump in 2018. He said Biden personally gets a lot of money from China. Zero evidence of this. He said there were no terror attacks during his presidency. In fact, there were multiple attacks. He said Iran didn't fund Hamas, Hezbollah, other terror groups under his presidency. Iran, in fact, did. He said Biden wants to quadruple people's taxes. That is pure fiction. He said the U.S. has provided way more aid to Ukraine than Europe had. It's actually the opposite. He said the U.S. has provided about $200 billion in Ukraine aid. It's closer to $110 billion. He said 18 or 19 million people have crossed the border under Biden. That is millions too high. He said many of these migrants are from prisons or mental institutions. His own campaign cannot corroborate this. He said Biden has only created jobs for illegal immigrants. Total nonsense. He said Nancy Pelosi turned down his offer of 10,000 National Guard troops on January 6th. There's no evidence she even got such an offer. It was the president, not Pelosi, who had the power to deploy the D.C. Guard. He said Pelosi now acknowledges she turned down the troops. No, her office tells me this claim is still a lie. He said he deployed the National Guard to Minneapolis in 2020. Actually, that was the Democratic governor. He spoke of, quote, ridiculous fraud in the 2020 election. Zero evidence of any widespread fraud. He said NATO was going out of business before he took office. Completely, clearly absurd. He said the U.S. was paying 100% of NATO before he came along. The U.S. made up about 71% of NATO defense spending, not 100. He said he, not Biden, is the one who lowered insulin prices in Medicare. He did it for some seniors, but Biden did it for far more. He said Biden indicted him. Again, no evidence Biden has had a personal role in any of these 4 prosecutions. He said Europe takes no U.S. cars, just not true. He spoke of food prices quadrupling under Biden. That's a wild exaggeration, though they are up. He said Biden made up the idea he called dead service members suckers and losers. No, the Atlantic magazine reported that, and then former Trump Chief of Staff John Kelly corroborated it. He said Biden called black people, quote, super predators for 10 years. Biden never once deployed that phrase, let alone for 10 years, though he did at least once speak of, quote, predators without specifying it was about black people. He said his Trump tax cut was the largest in U.S. history. Not true, though, in fairness, Biden also said this. Trump said China and others stopped buying from Iran under him. China never stopped. He revived his pet lie, I don't know how many times I've done it, that he signed the Veterans Choice Program into law. Barack Obama did that in 2014. Trump signed an expanded version in 2018. And finally, Trump said Biden got rid of that Veterans Program. Biden has not done that.
You know when that aired? Damn near midnight. Yes, midnight. You had to watch the whole debate with no fact-checking, wait another hour and a half, and then they'll get around to telling you that everything that came out of his mouth was BS. Really? Really? You just gonna bury the fact check after we just sat through all of that? Well done, CNN. Well done. Thank you. Thank you for your contributions. That was an absolute debacle. I can't think of anything worse.
Just take a look at what he says he is and take a look at what he is. Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. But by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest lie, that he's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8.
Never.
But I have, you know how many?
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Let's
not act like children.
President Trump, we're going to turn.
Let's not act like children.
You are a child.
Yeah, that was worse. That was worse.